Hey there my dwarfs, it's your boy Nomi here and welcome to another video.
I think he's trying to take over my channel, but anyway, I am here chilling out with my babe Nomi Simpson. Love this dude, love my babe. He's got his sweet rad hat on. Really he should have a beanie because, you know, I mean it's winter and it's cold and you don't want to have chav hat in winter. Let me get you a beanie. There you go. There you go. Aw, there's his little beanie. Okay, so I have Nomi and I have my water bottle, hot water bottle, which actually doesn't have hot water in. It actually has cold water in because I forgot to refill it, but it's nice and fluffy. Anyway, in this video I am speaking about, as you've seen in the title, before I came out as trans, I was a self-proclaimed lesbian, and I came out as a gay woman before I came out as a trans man, and then obviously came out as a trans man who's bisexual. And when I was a lesbian, I was so sure that I was a lesbian. I was so convinced that I only liked women. I had managed to convince myself so much that I only liked women that I was like, oh, the idea of, I was saying things like, oh, the idea of men and the idea of not, you know, I mean, I didn't know anything about it at the time, but back then I was saying, oh, the idea of penises is so gross and stuff like this. Even though obviously I know that's genitalia isn't necessarily related anymore, in my eyes anyway. And the thing is, right, if I was so convinced, so sure that I was a lesbian and that I could only ever like women my entire life, and then all of a sudden that wasn't true anymore, how can I be so sure and so convinced that I'm trans now if the feeling I was feeling before about being a lesbian, I'm feeling now about being trans and about being a man? If those are the same things and after 6 months of being a lesbian I suddenly dropped it and was like, oh, I'm trans, how do I know that the feeling I'm feeling now isn't just a phase? And I remember that when I first came out, I actually thought about that a lot. Like, I think almost every day I would think about that, because I'd be like, fuck, like, I'm meant to be so sure about myself in my gender, and I'm meant to know, aren't I? But when I was before, I thought I would never like men again. Like, I not thought, but I knew. I was like so convinced that that's who I was. I was a lesbian and that's who I was and that's who I was going to be for the rest of my life. And then when I came out as trans I was like, well shit, I was so convinced. And one of the reasons why it was a big thing as well is because when I was the period when I was proclaimed as a lesbian, I was saying things like, oh my god, I hate the idea of being with a man, oh, I could never stand it. And when I came out as a gay woman, I was just like, I actually said all my life I've had issues with relationships and commitment issues and stuff, and I think it's because I've been repulsed by the idea of getting with a man. And that, I convinced myself that for so long. I mean, I was so convinced, I was like, I hate the idea of it. I hate the idea of being with a man. That's so disgusting, of being with, well, a penis with what I directly related to man before, which, you know, it's different now how my feelings are, but back then I was like, oh, the idea of it, being with a man is just, oh. Anyway, and I just made such blunt statements like, I can't believe I ever thought I liked men, I can't believe this and this and that, but in reality now I'm saying I can't believe I ever thought that I didn't like men, because I'm bisexual, so same and other, or pansexual if you like to say that. And obviously that means, you know, but recently I've been looking more at the same gender people, so I've been looking at guys more. And now I'm thinking I can't imagine not liking guys. I can't imagine what was going through my mind at that period. All of my life I have liked guys, but also all of my life I've liked women. So, but I don't know, I managed to convince myself, I guess, that I was a lesbian so much. And the reason why I was so adamant on convincing myself that I was a lesbian was because there's this one guy that I don't know if I'll mention his name, but we were sort of seeing each other back when I was Tia, and we were sort of seeing each other and we were speaking for a good few months. And finally he popped the question to me, which is, what are we? What are we? Because I'd been, you know, tagging him along for about a good few months. It was getting pretty serious, and he was like, what are we? Are we gonna date? It was sort of like, should we date kind of question. And there and then, when he said that to me, I freaked out. I was like, oh my God, So I told him, I sent him a message back saying, I'm gay. And it wasn't like I sat there for I think it was like a day or something. I sat thinking about it, and I'd been thinking about it before as well. And I sent him a long message explaining my feelings and what I've been feeling, and I was like, I'm gay, I'm a lesbian. And that's how, and he was really good about it. He was like, well, that's fair enough. I mean, if you're a lesbian, there's nothing you can do about it. That's fair enough. And, you know, I told myself that the reason why I didn't want to be with these people and that I freaked out when I was, you know, about to date them, was because I didn't like men. But after I came out as a lesbian, I started thinking the same commitment issues of, like, when people ask me out. When people used to ask me out, I used to freak out and not want to be with them. And I realised that was the same with women. Because I came out as bisexual in year 9, when I was about 13, 14-ish. I came out as bisexual. And I've seen women and men. And before, whenever they asked me out, I'd freak out and I'd say no. I was not very good at relationships, and I'd freak out as soon as they asked me out, and I never knew why. And I originally, obviously, as I was saying, I thought it was because I was a lesbian, but actually, I've thought about it now, and I'm very sure of my gender now. It's been a year and a bit. It's been about a year and a half since I came out as trans, and or known that I was. And I think that the reason why I was so uncomfortable is because when they were asking me out, it wasn't because they were a man, or it wasn't because of whatever they were. It was because of what they were asking me. They were asking me to be their girlfriend. And I think that's what repulsed me, the idea of being a girlfriend to someone. And I convinced myself for so long that it was something else. And one day I just saw a video online and I realised, shit, that's me, I'm trans. And soon after I realised, well, a few months into my transition, after freaking out for the first month, thinking, wow, is this a phase like the lesbian thing was, you know, I realised it wasn't. It was just that I didn't want to be their girlfriend, I wanted to be their boyfriend. So yeah, moral of the story is, even though you may have, because a lot of trans, it's usually opposite for trans women, but a lot of trans men, they'll come out as, well, trans men and trans women alike, they'll come out as gay, either lesbian or gay man, and then they'll come out as a trans woman, or lesbian and they'll come out as a trans man. and I think usually a lot of people worry that what they were before is like it's just a new phase of being trans, and they worry that one day they'll wake up and they'll realise they're not actually that, and they'll have to go back into the closet and tell everyone that they actually aren't that. And I just want to say, just don't worry, okay? Just let it happen, and in time you will discover yourself. That's the point in discovery. I guess really you got to live in the moment in some ways, and I'm not the kind of person that lives in the moment. I'm just not. I like to plan ahead, I like to know what's going on, but in some ways you do have to live in the moment, because when it comes to, you know, I was having fun living in the moment when I was a lesbian, and right now I'm living in the moment, and the moment has been about 1.5 years, so the likelihood that it's a phase is becoming less and less, and I have thought about my gender before in my childhood and onwards, but you know, everyone has a different life transitioning with being trans and with other stuff, with sexuality, with anything else. So just want to let you know, just don't worry, just go with your feelings, what you're feeling inside, just go with it. And yeah, so it's Christmas is over. I know it's sad. I still got my little tree there though. It's gone a bit limp at the top because Christmas is over. Or technically Christmas actually isn't over during me making this video, but when I'm posting this, it is. But anyway, I hope you guys really enjoyed your Christmas. New Year's Eve is coming up, and I'll possibly make a video for that. I'm a bit busy this week. This is the last video that I had scheduled to make before I go back up. So there should be a video in about a week's time. That it shouldn't be any more than that, don't you worry. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little discussion. Please like, comment and subscribe to me, because I want you peeps to be in the niche, to be my dudes. Love you guys. Hope you had a Merry Christmas, and hope you have a Happy New Year. So yeah, bye-bye, bye, bye, bye. Subscribe, yeah.
Bye. Remember to subscribe.